Welcome to the Mav and Caw Show.
Howdy, howdy. I have no hat today.
I see. It looks good on you.
No, it don't. Hey, so for the next podcast that comes on, I'm going to do a face reveal. What do you mean by that, you may ask? Is, I'm going to shave my face. You're going to see what I look like without hair.
Oh, there you go. And that way you won't look like Wolverine's little brother, Baby Badger.
Baby Badger. I'll be like, these little tiny clouds come out.
So we are going to continue our 80s broadcasts.
Because we like the 80s.
We love the 80s. We're Gen X
We're from the 80s.
Yeah. I mean, the greatest time ever in history.
Yeah, man.
So it was brought to our attention that we did not have movies for the ladies, let's say, last time in our broadcast. So now we're going to render that problem. We do have a few on our list that I think some ladies might either really, really love or maybe forgot about.
Yeah.
And of course, we have just some great, great movies all around.
That top one we should do last and be like for the number one, because, I just think we should.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we can count them down that way.
Yes.
I mean, it is a countdown after all. Okay, so we will start with one of my favorites from Michael J. Fox, The Secret of My Success.
Okay, I remember that movie.
Yeah, 1987, great movie. I love this movie. He's trying to work his way up the corporate ladder, and he kind of gets seduced by his aunt, I guess you'd call her.
Mm-hmm.
Funny movie, good movie. Michael J. Fox is awesome in it, of course.
It's been so long since I've seen it, I forgot that's who was the star of the movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Michael J. Fox.
So keep in mind, a lot of these movies, I was a little kid when I seen most of these movies. So yeah.
And then we have another great, there was a lot of people were into war movies back in the day.
Yeah, there were some good war movies.
There's some Platoon, 1986. Oliver Stone, great movie. Was it Charlie Sheen was in Platoon?
I think so.
Or was it Martin Sheen?
Oh,
I think they both.
Now I don't know.
I think they both were.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Really good movie. I remember some of the war scenes.
I remember watching that with my brother.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, great movie. War movies were a big thing back when we were kids.
Yeah.
A lot of people did them because they sold. People enjoyed them.
They did a lot of war. They did a lot of Vietnam movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. About
Platoon
the war
was
in Vietnam.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a bunch of them. They were excellent movies.
Yeah.
The next one, I think, I remember being around 9 when this came out, 9 or 10. Children of the Corn.
Ooh, yeah.
Now, I'm telling you, dude, Isaac and Malachi scared the hell out of me as a kid.
Man, Malachi, I don't know if he scared me, but because being scared of something and being creeped out by something is two different things. That kid creeped me out, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you were like, this kid ain't right.
Yeah.
There's something wrong.
That haircut had to go.
Yeah,
and he had that crazy hat.
Yeah.
That was like the guy on the oatmeal. A Quaker hat.
Quaker hat. Yeah. Children of the Corn was a Stephen King. I loved it. I did think it was really good, for the time.
Yeah, I mean, it was real scary back then. We didn't have
the kids were
like
creepy.
We got now, yeah.
The kids were just creepy.
Mm-hmm.
One of the scenes I remember scared me was in the beginning when they locked the door in the little restaurant.
Yeah.
And they stuck the guy's hand in the blender.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was creepy.
What was their goal? To get rid of all the parents or something?
Yeah,
adults?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they were worshiping he who walks behind the rows.
Yeah, of the corn.
Yeah. So, I mean, the book goes into a lot more detail.
I guess when you grow up around all that corn, you just mind goes crazy.
I guess so. I live in a cornfield, and yeah, I don't walk in cornfields.
Well, we don't live in a cornfield, but like literally, we could go on our back porch and our front porch, and look out the window. And a block away, there's nothing but a big old cornfield there.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge too. Nothing but cornfields and windmills.
That's yeah. Well, back in 1989, a heck of a movie came out.
What's that?
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Okay.
Wild Stallions rule.
Something is afoot at the Circle K.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you,
It's us, dude.
you gotta love Bill and Ted.
Yeah, I love that movie. What's the so Keanu Reeves and what's the other guy? Alex
Winter.
Winter, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, excellent movie. Bill and Ted are hilarious. They're,
That would be cool to go back in time and collect all the iconic people and make a real cool school report.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then they came at the very last second,
Yep. Absolutely. So next, 1987, no one had seen anything like this movie ever before.
What's that?
Hellraiser. Whoa.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Pinhead.
That's out of all the horror
Pinhead was
movies. Pinhead's my favorite.
I remember my brother and I went to the movies, and Hellraiser wasn't out yet, but it was coming.
Right.
And there was a big cardboard cutout. And I looked at my little brother, and I was like, dude, there's pins in his head. So, his name is not actually Pinhead. He's not called Pinhead.
What's his Cenobite name?
Cenobite number 1.
That's his name?
Yeah, in the credits, he's called Cenobite number 1. But now in the comic books, he's referred to as Hell Priest.
Oh, yeah.
So actually, the public called him Pinhead, and it stuck.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Clive Barker always said he doesn't like the name Pinhead. But, dude, you gave him pins in his head.
Right.
But Pinhead scared the hell out of you.
Yeah.
He that was brutal, dude. That was just
tear your soul apart.
And he meant it.
Yeah, he did.
He was not joking. Yeah, Doug Bradley.
My thing was that box they had. That's a cool box.
Yeah, puzzle box.
I want a replica of that.
Yeah, I've got one downstairs in my curio.
Nice.
And yeah, I've got a puzzle box.
I didn't see it. I didn't know you had that.
Yeah, I
That's
sure
cool.
do. And I mean, I met Doug Bradley at Comic-Con one year. He is the nicest guy.
Oh, I bet. A lot of them guys that made movies like that are nice guys.
Yeah, he's just, he's really down to earth, really cool. He just
has a little bit of a demented mind to make stories like that.
Well, I mean, to play a part like that, you know what I mean? And he played it.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. Not to make the story.
Now we're gonna change trajectory here. 1982, right? Disney made a movie that was phenomenal.
Which movie?
Tron,
yeah.
That was...
Man, when that came out, it blew up. Man.
Yeah, that was state of the art at the time.
I had the Atari game and everything.
Yeah, Tron was cool when it came out.
They had those discs or something?
Yeah. Tron was just a neat, really awesome way to kind of take you inside a computer.
It was very futuristic.
Yeah, they did
for its time.
Yeah, they did an excellent job.
Yeah, they did. My chair is squeaky.
In 1980, one of the greatest spoof movies of all time, Airplane. I love Airplane.
What's that guy's name, man? It's
Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen, yeah, that dude is funny, man.
Yeah, he was awesome. I loved it.
And just don't call me Shirley.
Right, and don't call me Shirley. Airplane is a hilarious movie. I mean, I like when the one guy unplugged the runway lights. Yeah. He's like, and plugged them back in.
That's crazy. That movie came out when I was 1 year old, man.
Yeah, Airplane is...
But, my grandma had it, I think, or something on VHS, and we watched it a few times over there. Is funny. Yeah,
that movie was great. I believe the Zucker brothers did it. Back in the day, they were kind of the ones who made spoof movies, Now we're going to talk about 1987.
Okay.
Now, we've talked about this guy before on the show, John Hughes.
Yes.
He made a movie in 1987 called Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, with John Candy.
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin,
This movie I loved. I watch it. I've seen it probably 50 times.
I've seen it once.
You know what I mean? It's John Candy at his best.
I was little. I don't remember that much about it, but I remember it was funny. Yeah.
A lot of people talk about the end where, through the movie, he's talking about he was married and this and that. But a lot of people always say they tear up toward the end of the movie because that's when Steve Martin starts putting it all together.
Yeah.
And so he goes back to the train station, and there sits Dell, John Candy's character, because his wife had passed. And that's, he's like, oh. So he kind of realized, what an asshole he was through the whole movie.
Right.
But Dell was his friend, and he knew that,
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, man, the end of that always gets me,
Well, that's movies like that usually how it went. And you get to the end and you start getting teary-eyed.
Yeah, some of them just, they pull at the heartstrings.
It's like funny the whole time until the end. It's like, oh, really?
Yeah, they pull at your heartstrings, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, if you actually listen to everything he says, you can start piecing it together.
Yeah.
Through the movie. But some of that movie, I mean, when they were driving that car that had caught fire, lost its roof, it was crazy. And then they get pulled over by the cops. This car should not be on the road.
Right.
And he's like,
it's like any fast missions.
He's like, what happened to this car? He's like, well, it's crazy. The radio still works. The car itself should have not been on the road, but
right.
but the radio still worked. And darndest thing.
Mm-hmm.
But John Candy and Steve Martin together was awesome. The one scene I remember, that somehow they wound up cuddled up in the bed, and the next morning, Steve Martin asked John Candy, where is your hand? And he says, in between two pillows. He says, those ain't pillows.
Oh, man, that is funny.
I was young when that came out, but I about peed myself. I was like, oh, my God, that's nasty.
Yeah. Man.
And they played it to a T off each other. They did amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're going to switch gears here. 1982, there's a few movies that came out. The studio pumped a lot of money into this one. Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
I didn't see that, man.
Starring the one and only.
I know about it.
Miss Dolly Parton.
Yeah, I like Dolly Parton.
And she was the madam of a whorehouse in Texas.
Yeah.
And of course, starring, I drew total mind blank.
Total blank.
Yeah.
Did he have a mustache?
Yes. Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds. That's why I was either him or Tom Selleck,
Burt Reynolds and Dom DeLuise.
Yeah, I remember Dom.
And this is truly one of my favorite movies. I'm not going to lie. I love this movie. I could watch it all the time. It's hilarious. You have Dom DeLuise. When he puts a sock on and he's getting ready for his TV show, and he puts a sock in his pants.
Okay.
To make it look
right, like his junk is big.
Burt Reynolds,
I got big junk.
If you watch Burt Reynolds' face in that scene, he's like just completely taken back. Like, what is this guy doing? And then he starts he has to go out and film his show, so Burt Reynolds is watching, and Dom DeLuise gives the greatest speech to an audience I've ever seen. He says, ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you, Texas has a whorehouse in it.
That's funny.
And he did a whole musical number on Texas Having a Whorehouse.
I have to watch it now, man.
I mean, it's one of the great.
I'm gonna watch it just because Dolly Parton's in it. I like Dolly Parton.
Oh,
man.
Dolly Parton nailed it, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, please see it, watch it. It's funny, it's engaging. Now we're back to the war movies.
Okay, I know where this is going.
1987. Now this was, I think, the most popular war movie pretty much of all time.
Yeah. Full
Metal Jacket.
That was the greatest.
Yes.
Back then, man.
Yes.
I remember they even took a line from that movie and put it in a song and made it a dirty song, you know.
Yeah.
When they was talking to the Korean girl.
Yeah.
And she's trying to get, you know, she was a woman of the streets, you know, so she's trying to get these soldiers to.
Yep.
She said, me love you long time, $10.
Yeah.
She told the brother, she was like, no, you're too buku. So you too big. You can't ride this train, man.
This is one of the Stanley Kubrick's. This was a true masterpiece, I think, of Stanley Kubrick. You had Joker, who pretty much that's who the movie centered around.
Let me see your war cry, your
and
war face.
You had Cowboy,
his
buddy, and of course the one and only Private Pile.
Private Pile,
who R. Lee Ermey was not so nice to.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, he was a mess up. You know, he screwed up all the time.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you what. When it just shows them marching, they're in cadence together, and Private Pile is behind him, and as he comes across the screen, his pants are pulled down. He's in his boxers, his hat's turned around backwards, and he's sucking his thumb.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of sad when you think about it because, you know, that was Vietnam, right? That was the Vietnam War, right?
That was Vietnam.
So they put Private Pile in the army in that, and the man clearly in the movie, the character clearly had mental disabilities,
right?
But they didn't recognize that or care about that back then.
No.
You messed up, you messed up. You know, you're going to do it right or not at all, or you're going to die trying, you know.
Mental things were not, you know, which I mean, he you could tell he had his issues. You know, he was like a little kid in the beginning.
I did like when he cleaned out his Foot Locker and he found that jelly donut. And, what in the Jesus H name Christ is this? He holds it up. What is this, Private Pile? It's a jelly donut, sir. Why do you have a jelly donut? I took it from the mess hall, sir. Why'd you take it from I was hungry.
Yes, Private Pile. He
made him eat it and everybody else got punished.
And of course, the one scene that everybody knows is when when Drill Sergeant comes into the bathroom and Joker's standing there and
looking all nervous.
He's like, Private Joker, why are you not stomping a mud hole in Private Pile? Yeah. And he's like, it is the private's duty, sir, to report to the senior drill sergeant that Private Pile is locked and loaded.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of just, his facial expression changed, he was like, wait, what? He did what?
Yeah, Private Pile, he went from having that innocent, dumb look to him to, like, his head was down, he was looking out the tops of his eyes, and he got this big smile, and then he gave his little speech. I don't remember the words that he said, but
and R. Lee Ermey, his if you notice when Joker tells him that, his whole face changes. Like, he's like, okay, Private Pile is what?
Yeah.
And then you would think he would try to talk him down, but he didn't.
No, he started talking more crap to
him. Dude, no, he's got a loaded weapon.
Yeah.
But Full Metal Jacket is a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it is. One of the best.
Yeah, hands down.
I could watch that movie a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've seen it a bunch of times. I mean, just at least once a year, I think.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get to a movie that some people may have not seen because it is, it's a 1985 movie. Excuse me. But it was starring one of the greatest actors of our time, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Legend.
Yes. Oh, and another great actor of all time was in there, Tim Curry.
Yes, he was.
He played the devil.
Yes.
And that was the coolest
Yes,
devil
I think to this
makeup
day.
I have ever seen.
To this day.
Well, okay, so there is another movie. It's not an 80s movie, but they had a really cool devil too. Was I don't think you've seen it, but it's Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. The devil they had in there was phenomenal too. But Tim Curry though, man, come on, Tim Curry, that's Rocky.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, there's one and only Tim Curry.
Yeah, man, he's it.
But Legend is a great movie.
Yeah, it is.
It is just a great movie.
Mhm.
It's set in a fantasy world.
Yeah.
You had unicorns, and you had fairies, and you had the devil, and I mean, it's set in a magical world.
Yeah, it is.
It's an excellent movie. So if you
haven't
haven't seen it,
go watch it right now.
It. Yeah,
It's
you're
a
gonna
great
love
movie.
Legend. Legend is an amazing film.
Yes, it is.
Excellent movie. Now, this next movie was made in 1985. This is one of Cog's favorite movies. Okay,
Which movie?
Heavenly Kid.
Oh yeah, man, I love that story. It is so cool. So this guy from the 50s, you know, he's with this girl, but he liked to race cars. You know, they used to race for pinks.
Yeah.
Race for pinks. That's their titles.
I don't think I've seen it since it came out.
So they would race their cars, and they would have to like stop at the cliff, like whoever's closest or whatever.
Yeah.
And he kept going, and so he drove his car off of a cliff. And
Right.
he passed, you know. And so later on in life, that lady had a kid. It was his kid, and he was like nerdy in school and everything, and he didn't have a car, so.
Right.
He meets his dad and doesn't know he's a ghost at first or whatever. Then he finds out, oh, this is an angel and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Still doesn't tell him that he's his dad.
Right.
And so he gets him this car. It was his car, actually. They went to a junkyard, and it was his car. And then, like, he does his hand like this and then waves it over past the car, and it restores the car back to full, brand new looking condition.
Yeah.
So this kid, and he gave him a leather jacket. He gave him a makeover pretty much. And he became the cool kid in school and everything. And then the dad ended up seeing his mom, and like she was able to see him too. And so he made his peace with her and whatever. And then he went off to heaven. But yeah, it was a great movie, man. I loved that movie when I was a kid. I still love that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing it when it came out. It was one of my favorites when I was young. You know, I watched it all the time when it came on.
Yeah.
So I forget the kid's name that was in it, but you're right. It's a good movie.
Yeah, I don't know the actors' names. They weren't like
they weren't
top,
big names,
top
or
dog
anything,
actors or
right?
nothing, but they did good job on that.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Yeah.
he had a buddy, the angel, the dad angel, whatever you want to call him, had a guy that helped him along,
Right.
named Wraith.
Right.
And Wraith was like an older guy that had a motorcycle, and he would like ride it into heaven.
Yeah, I
You know?
vaguely remember that.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah, I forgot about Wraith.
Okay. 1985, a great Stephen King movie came out. Silver Bullet.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was a good movie. That was the werewolf movie.
yeah, it was a great werewolf movie. Yep, starring, of course, Corey Haim.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, he was the.
Were both Corys in that or no?
I don't think so. Just Corey Haim.
Haim?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay. Because I remember he was in another. Oh, no, I'm thinking of the vampire movie.
Yeah, you're thinking Lost Boys.
Lost Boys. Yeah, another great movie, by the way. But yeah.
Yeah, Silver Bullet was just, it was a good movie. You know, he was in a wheelchair. Nobody believed him. Yeah, nobody believed him.
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah.
He was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, he was in. So finally, somebody told him about making silver bullets. So they made some silver bullets,
Yeah.
and you know, I mean, it's a good movie if you haven't seen it. Of course, it is Stephen King, and you know, he's Stephen King.
Hey, you know, I didn't know, and this movie is not on our list, but Lucas.
Yeah,
I never knew for a long time that Lucas was Corey Haim.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that was a great movie too.
Yes.
You guys could check that one out too. That's an honorable mention right there. But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
so yeah, Silver Bullet, man.
Now
Wow.
we're gonna jump to one of my favorite movies.
What's that?
Came out in 82.
Mm-hmm.
Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah. Spicoli.
Spicoli. Yes.
I always say his name wrong.
Yeah, Jeff Spicoli.
I think it's because of Spinguli that I say his name wrong. I'm always wanting to say Spicoli.
But Fast Times is a great movie. Jennifer Jason Leigh. She plays the main character.
Yeah.
And of course you have Sean Penn, and you have Judge Reinhold, and Phoebe. Yeah, of course.
I love Judge Reinhold, man.
You have Phoebe Cates'.
Oh yeah, Phoebe was in there.
Her pool scene where she takes, one of the most rewound moments in history is all I'm going to say about
rewound
that.
And pause.
Yes, Emily.
Dirty little boys.
Phoebe Cates was beautiful. Jennifer Jason Leigh was beautiful. It was a great movie. She had her own theme song every time she went to have sex.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever seen another movie do that.
I wish I had my own theme music every time.
Right? Every time you just I love the song. The song is one of my favorites. It's Somebody's Baby by Jackson Browne. That song always gets me, There's always that one person that you think of,
Yeah. I love talking about these movies, man. They take me back, man.
Oh,
I hope it's doing the same for you guys too. That if you're, Gen X or what.
Absolutely. Now we're gonna jump to 1987. The one and only Jack Nicholson.
Oh yeah.
The Witches of Eastwick.
Can't have a good movie without Jack Nicholson. He always talked crazy.
Yes.
Bette Midler,
Cher, and Michelle Pfeiffer.
I could never remember. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
how can I forget Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah, she, all three of them get together and plot his demise, so to speak.
Yeah, they did.
With
some cherries, too.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Why wash the dishes? They're just going to get dirty again anyway.
Right. We're going to stay with 87.
Okay.
Mannequin,
yeah, that was pretty good.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was a good movie. Kim Cattrall, who was beautiful, and she was in a lot
in the 80s. You know darn well in real life, if a mannequin came alive, you would be freaked out.
Right? Yes, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm running the other way.
Yeah, no, they did a good job.
Yeah. Andrew McCarthy was excellent in it. Kim Cattrall was in a lot of movies back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're to our number one. Now this is for the
number
ladies.
One.
This is, I think,
the most watched.
Yeah, I think it's every lady's most watched movie. I do. I Dirty Dancing.
Yep, hands down.
Patrick Swayze.
That movie is even in other movies.
Right.
Yes. What are you doing tonight, babe? Oh, I'm watching Dirty Dancing. Again.
Yes, it Dirty Dancing, 1987. Yep. I think it was the biggest movie in 87.
I know they had the time of their life, man, for real.
Yeah, oh yeah. Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Nobody.
People still use that today.
Yep. And the way they danced, that was like real big back then because
they
was
were
like
dirty dancing.
It was like a new thing, like it was a new style of dance.
Yeah. Dirty Dancing is a good movie. I've seen it.
I've seen it a couple of times.
Yeah, I've seen it. I seen it a couple years ago. I watched it again, because I didn't remember a lot of it, but
right.
Yeah, I did watch it. Great acting.
Patrick Swayze, he's just
and I don't think
actor,
I don't think Jerry Orbach, the guy who played her dad, I don't think he was being unreasonable. He just didn't want her dating somebody who looked 30.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Should have called it 30 Dancing.
He was not being an unreasonable father.
Right.
But it was a good movie. We enjoyed it. So.
Yeah, that was good.
But we hope you guys enjoyed our
definitely.
List.
Hope you enjoyed the show.
Yes, and I think you're really going to like the next podcast.
Yes, my face reveal.
Yes. Yes.
Get to see me all shaved
off. Face reveal. And we're going to be doing long forgotten TV shows from the 80s. So
yes,
you're going to want to stay tuned for that. So we'll see you guys later.
Same math time, same call channel. See you guys later.